Welcome, everyone, to another deep look into the paranormal podcast where mystery meets insight. We are taking another delve into the deep waters of the water based cryptids. So let us begin. Shall we? Are you
Blub blub bloop.
Blub, blub, bloop. Okay. Um, let's see here. We are going to take a look at a couple things before we start. But just to give you a general idea of water-based cryptids, last time we did things like the kraken, the bloop, and the Nigan, I believe it is, and I think one other. This time we are actually going to discuss mermaids, or some call sirens, and Colin's mega snake, and kelpies.
But honey, didn't we already do a mermaids episode?
We talked about it a little bit at the end of the last crypto ones, and we are going to delve into it a little deeper this time. So, but I want to talk to you guys about the term cryptid, okay? You know, water-based cryptids could be out in the big blue, which is the oceans, the rivers, streams, lakes. So anywhere where there's a water source, there's possibly a potential cryptid. But here, mermaids are not generally considered cryptids. While some may include them in the discussion, the scientific community does not recognize mermaids as real, undiscovered species. Cryptids are defined as animals that are undiscovered, not yet proven to exist, or believed to be extinct, but mermaids are widely considered to be mythological folklore or folkloric figures. Really? Okay. Okay. Lack of scientific evidence. There is no credible scientific evidence to support the existence of mermaids. Well, let's think about that a second. Okay?
Okay.
We, as a human race, we've only mapped out and explored only 20% of our oceans. That leaves 80% unsearched, unmapped, unexplored. Who knows what could be out there, right?
No, I know. There's always new things coming up from the ocean depths,
Mm-hmm.
or we're finding things we generally assumed were one way, but they're actually another.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Just recently, there was an extinct, what they thought was an extinct species of fish, still being fished in certain parts of the world,
Yeah.
and they because they're still actively being fished. There was a scientist who found one at a fish market. However, he did not have the amount of money because this was a very large fish. But they were actually able to go back and get a sample afterwards to prove what they saw was real.
Oh, wow. And fish markets are usually reasonably priced, but the rarer the fish, the more money it costs.
It's just that they didn't treat it like a rare fish, it was just a large fish.
So they, as display piece.
It was to be eaten.
Oh my. I I understand the need to, for animals, fish, what have you, for as a source of nutrients. As long as it's not killed for gaming purposes, I'm I'm okay. But let's delve into Merriam-Webster definition, okay?
Okay.
A cryptid, an animal that has been claimed to exist but never proven to exist. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Cambridge definition of cryptid: the attempt to find, describe, and study creatures that appear in stories that some people believe to exist or say they have seen, but that have never been proven to exist. That's cryptozoology. You,
Okay,
you see where I'm going with this?
I do.
Um, as well as a creature that is found in stories and some people believe exists. Oh, no, I already read that part. Wait, no. Um, a creature that is found in stories and that some people believe exists or say they have seen, but that's never been proven to exist, which is cryptid. But yet, and you can see up there on the screen, cryptids are defined as animals that have been undiscovered yet proven to exist, where the scientific community says there's no credible scientific evidence to support the existence of the mermaids, or that that mermaids are a cryptid. Um,
I think the real line they draw in the sand when it comes to this
hmm
is if it's between cryptid and folklore.
but that's
Because
the that's the thing.
no, I'm agreeing, but folklore
hmm
has a small amount of truth to it. It's not just randomly made up things. It can be
Yeah,
blown out of the water. It can be over exaggerated, yes, but it's not something that's just a given.
yeah. A lot of people believed back, way back in times that, oh, it's drunken sailors or it's in reference to hallucinations from substance abuses and stuff like that. I'm like, I can see it, but then why so many? And at different parts of the world, no less. I'm like, I can understand one or two here and there saying that, but when there are multiple sightings all over the world, mm, yeah.
Yeah, eventually, what do they call it? Collective. There was a term for it. It's where you see the same stories appear in multiple cultures from different places that never really interacted. It's like the story of the flood. Yes, that's a biblical story, but there are a ton of other religions and areas that have never even touched base with Christianity have a flood story.
Yes. Like like Noah's Ark and things like that. I know that
Correct.
I read in the Bible once, or a version of a Bible once, that the reason why unicorns don't exist is because they're supposed to be two by two, and the one was willing to go onto the boat, but the other was being like a little practical jokester and was playing around and didn't. So that's Noah said, "I'm sorry, you can't come on because there has to be two of you." And
I
that's
think that was a children's illustration Bible.
it may have been, but still, I was like, interesting. It makes you think either way. But many believe that creatures like the mermaid or siren don't exist. Cryptozoologists and scientists claim they don't exist for their own various reasons. Uh, the cryptozoologists say they're not cryptids, or the community of cryptozoologists believe that they aren't, that they're more folklore, mythical. They don't, you know, and where scientists, of course, need scientific proof. Where scientists claim mermaids that don't exist because there's no scientific proof to support their existence in the ocean, um, uh, but may have been, in this case, as you can see, I have a illustration right here. Well, not an illustration, a picture where they believe it was the manatee that was being mistaken for, as you can see, the mermaid.
When they got to the Americas, yeah.
hmm Um, there is, let's see here, key reasons cryptos and scientists don't believe: lack of physical evidence. Okay, like footprints, hair, bones. Like they're starting to finally discover with Bigfoot. Um, Mermaids are deeply rooted in folklore and mythology with stories passed down from by generations. Okay, stories. Stories are formed around a grain of truth at some point.
Yeah, that is true.
whether it be fiction or nonfiction. And as we all know, as time goes, stories can get manipulated by the way they're told and the way they're understood. And again, reflecting back to the fact that we've only ever explored 20% of our oceans, there's still 80% out there left undiscovered, uncharted.
So I'm going to ask a follow-up question.
Okay?
Which mermaid are we talking about?
Just mermaids in
Because
general.
because in general there's been several different types of mermaids.
Yes, yes, there
There's
has.
and the reason why I bring this up is because I believe there may be a misidentification, not just manatees.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, there are mermaids who are known to have helped sailors take them to the island, make sure that they got to land safely. There's also many stories of mermaids dragging sailors down to the depths below, never to be seen again.
Mm-hmm. Those are usually
There
referred to as
is
sirens. Okay,
true.
go ahead.
There is a set of marine mammals that do this as well,
Yes,
and I'm referring to dolphins.
that is correct. Dolphins often do that,
And
even to this day.
yeah, for every story you hear of a dolphin bringing someone to shore, there is an untold story of a dolphin dragging someone down under the water.
Because
Dolphins are not cute and cuddly creatures. They're
they're wild.
predators, and
They're wild animals.
yeah,
And usually when they drag you down, it's because they're wanting to play or fornicate.
yeah. It's not that they're trying. They're not malicious,
Mm-mm.
but they're not good time all the time.
Yes, that's why you got to be careful around them um, in any interactions. Because there have been
Yes.
cases where people have been unfortunately molested by these creatures as well.
So I kind of wonder if some of the older stories of mermaids um, were dolphins.
That could be. You just have to kind of look at their bone structures, I think, to see how or why they may have been mistaken as such. Um, let's see here. Yes, there have been many that have been hoaxed in regards to finding a mermaid's remains. Like they've had a monkey severed body with a fish's lower half. Or
Okay?
go
Did
ahead,
you find out the story of where that comes from?
go ahead and explain.
No, if you've got the full research, you'll be able to do better than I can off the top of my head. I'm
No,
just curious if you have it.
no, but it was proven to be false.
Yes, it was. And this dates back to a very legendary person, P.T. Barnum,
From Barnum and Bailey?
from Barnum and Bailey.
Oh, wow.
The Fiji mermaid was one of the exhibits that he bought.
But when people looked at it, they could see the surgical marks.
The mummified corpse was under glass, and it was not the clearest of examinations.
That is true. But, that the hoax, the finding of the mermaid remains, but was out of selfish. Usually, the hoaxes are out of selfish greed at money grabs for fame and bragging rights. Um, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
Uh, no, I was reaching for something. That wasn't me saying something. I'm sorry.
Okay. The simple reason we can't find physical proof is there are far and few between, highly elusive, and potentially somewhere in the 80% of the ocean we haven't explored. Maybe they hide and bury their dead, somehow, or maybe they consume to prevent being discovered. But then
We
again,
could also be talking about a species that has cartilage for bones, not actual calcified bones.
yes, and that usually does break down over time, especially in water.
Yeah, very quickly, and it does not tend to leave skeletons of any sort. Well,
And
not
then
skeletons, but fossils.
you get the fish or other aquatic creatures that scavenge, and so it's very hard to possibly find any proof in regards to that. Um, and then we also where a lot of creatures have a natural routine or something that we can follow. What if these are highly more intelligent than we give them credit for, and that's how they're able to stay away? They have some sixth sense of like, okay, humans are coming, or
Yep.
there's radar. Like not because of the radar, but that EMP or that pulse that they send off, like some sonic pulse to
Mm-hmm.
and they can feel it
Yeah.
physically, so they know to stay away. Um, then, like you said, they could be misidentified, like manatees, as you can see here.
Yep. Now, you brought up a good point. They could be highly evolved,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a throwback to the Bigfoot. The difference between us and chimpanzees is only like 1% brain usage.
Yes.
So if these things only even had 1% higher brain capacity than us, it would be basically outwitting dumb animals
And in
from their
this,
perspective.
yes, and they're not the dumb animals we are as humans.
Yeah.
Just saying. Um,
And
Go
dumb
ahead.
humans get caught out occasionally by themselves in circumstances they shouldn't be in. I'm guessing if it's a species, they're going to have their dumb members too. So we may only be seeing the dumbest ones who haven't known how to keep themselves from getting caught.
Yeah. Um, if that is the case, why are there so many different sources claim to have seen the beached and or out of sea forms? A lot of people say substance abuse, or it could be a potential grain of truth to seeing a half woman, half or man in this case, with a tail of a fish instead of legs. But
Mm-hmm.
again, going back, why are there so many cases all over the world? I can understand here, there, every so often, but there are multiple cases nearly roughly around the same time at times happening. You know?
No,
Um,
I agree completely. It's a good question that needs to be asked.
Sightings of mermaids go all the way back to ancient Assyria around 1000 BCE. So if they're going way back to that point, again, I understand, like, when we were talking about the Kraken, taking down ships and stuff like that, people tend to, whenever they see something they don't realize is that it's there, they freak out and might spin a tall tale. Sure. But what if there is something smaller, like the one, um, forgot, I would have to look back, but the one person said that it was more along the lines of a giant octopus, which is scientifically proven to exist. He
Yeah.
So maybe the
Uh,
size difference, there might be a size difference.
Now, in the olden days, when they used to draw monsters and everything on the sides of the maps, and we're like, "Ha, that could not exist," and then we found it existing. That's the kind of crap I love to hear about and read about.
Yeah. Um, Sailors often fear seeing or hearing the charms of a mermaid slash siren because so many stories have been passed down about them dragging people down to their deaths. Not many are of the mermaids helping. It's more about the negative side. And what if mermaids use their song to create an illusion of beauty but actually look different? As you can see in some of these pictures. Let me go back one. They could look different. Different shapes, different colors, different sizes. Yeah, you can see these pictures, right?
Yes, I can.
They could be very malicious, very spooky. And because they don't want you to see what they look like and run in fear, they lure you in, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Um, they feared that the mermaids were harbingers of death and ill omen. Um, do you know that there's a correlation between mermaids and women on boats? They had that same fear about girls being on boats, especially in the past. Not nowadays, but I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, like even like any like freight ships or cargo ships or what have you or pirate ships, they really didn't like women being on board unless they were for fun. And then they got rid of them. They didn't because it was considered bad luck. And with
No,
mermaids, they consider the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, you do not want to have a mess around with a mermaid.
But then again, I can understand the scientific side of things, even though I think there is a possibility that they exist, especially as a cryptid. Um, Maybe in the area they were at, the acoustics of the area and the sounds, maybe they're different. The way it echoed off things sounded different, like someone humming or singing a song instead. Because if you listen to the wind through the trees and the way it creaks, it can sound kind of haunting.
No, I see what you're saying. There are plenty of places where it sounds like there is uh, things happening that aren't actually.
Yes.
Sounds of humming and singing. There are places where if the wind's blowing just the right way, that's what you hear.
Yeah. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So we can't honestly rule out that mermaids don't exist.
Now, do I think they're pretty girls with red hair that wear clams over their girly parts? No,
No.
I don't think that.
No, they would be
Are they,
completely, probably in their birthday suits.
or they'd be a highly evolved species that maybe has a swimming apparatus that looks like what we in picture.
Yeah.
Like how we have wetsuits, they may have a suit that does that for them.
Or they might just have gills in various places and their scales cover up their bits, if that makes sense.
That does.
Okay. And also, depending on the depth of where they're found, could affect their coloration and maybe their shape, their what they look like as well. Because the further down you go, the less color you see, and the more kind of grayish or flesh tone start becoming because they don't have the sun to bring out that coloration like you see in a lot of fish that surround corals and things like that.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
So
there could also be ones who have like cuttlefish style patterning that they can be bioluminescent. They could also maybe change their color based on their mood. They may
yeah,
use colors and lights to communicate instead of a verbal communication.
yes, but cuttlefish aren't usually seen at the surface.
Not usually, no.
No, and in this case, how cuttlefish, you know, the way they swim about might be along the same lines as the mermaid. Who knows? Um, because usually no one will believe anything until they can visibly see it, and it is
Hmm.
unfortunately examined in ways we don't wouldn't like. But um, maybe they only come up at night, and that's why you can never see one. Just saying.
Altogether possible.
All right. Moving on to the next cryptid is Colin's mega snake.
Oh, so we're going from saltwater to freshwater?
And then, yes. Because we did a lot of saltwater stuff last time, and then mermaids could very well be in freshwater. We don't know. But this is based off of like swamps and things of that nature, waters, rivers, lakes. Originally discussed on the episode of Freak Encounters, December 14th, 2010. It was a giant snake that is believed to have originated from South America legends. Which is understandable. A lot of things, like the large snakes, are found there, okay?
Wait, South America or legend? Okay.
Yes.
I thought we were going to Africa and
Australia.
the Nile.
Yeah. No, they could be found there. Anything's possible. The Nile is deep and long. But it was compared closely to Naboo. Naboo is a legendary giant snake with a circumference of a drum that is more than 100 feet in length. That's what it's believed to. This, I honestly believe, is a misidentification, potentially. That is just, it's not so much substance abuse in this factor, it's more fear.
You're saying this is a fishtail?
Yes.
Okay.
That, on a boa that might already exist or be a misidentified anaconda, to be exact. Or could it be that the Titanoboa is still around?
As I said, the Titan boa has been confirmed as a real species, and
Yes.
the sizes on it are huge. And same way with Bigfoot and with the thought of a mermaid, there is so much of our world we have not yet explored.
Right.
That there may be descendants of Titan boa just waiting out there in places that mankind does not either exist or does not have modern technology yet.
Yeah.
Because there are parts of this world where there are human civilizations that have not seen any of the outside world from where they live.
Yes.
And we go out of our way to make sure we do not interact with them at all.
It's not because people are prejudiced or hateful. It is you don't want to shock somebody and traumatize them. And why it's
if
done.
there is a culture that's still in the Stone Age, and they're living peacefully in an environment,
don't take that away from them.
What we do is we're basically gods wielding electricity, and electricity is, if you try to describe electricity, it is magical crap. Think about it. Like, I have this small little squarish device that connects me to people across the world. I can look at this and see them. How does it work? Electricity. How do the planes work? Electricity. How do cars work? Gasoline that also works with electricity.
A little bit. Yeah.
So we're living in a fantasy world compared to what they're living in.
Yeah.
Likewise, we have a lot of hubris because we think we're the pinnacle of this world, and that is just hubris. There is something that's going to come along that's going to put us in our place.
Yes. And when we say we or us, we're not referring to just, U.S. citizens. We're referring to us as humankind.
Earthlings.
Earthlings, yeah. The Titan boa, which there are believed to have become up to 50 feet in length and weigh over 2,000 pounds. Because the bigger the snake, the heavier they are. So Titanoboa is the largest snake out there. It is documented proof. Cryptozoologist Josh Feltham said that if this large snake did exist, meaning the Colin mega snake, um, that any humans foolish enough to get close would easily become a meal. The same is said for large anacondas and titan boas. He also stated that Colin's mega snake is an ambush predator, which a lot of anacondas, the titan boas, are. The larger they are, the more ambush like they become. Um, and the reculated Reticulatedpython, python, which is like the one on there.
Reticulated?
Yeah, reticulated. Or how about this one?
Is that an albino or is that just the way they all are?
That is an albino.
Okay.
But look how massive that one is compared to a grown man who handles
Yes.
those kind of snakes all the time. It is actually, the reticulated pythons are measured to be the longest snakes in the world. 1912, Guinness World Record holder was 32 feet and 9.5 inches, weighing over 660 pounds. It was shot and killed in Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, this mega snake, I think, honestly, because they say it's over, it's the size of a drum that's like over 100 feet in length.
Mm-hmm.
And weighing so many pounds. I think it is, again, a misidentification of maybe a reticulated or a titanoboa. Maybe on an extended version, an anaconda. Anacondas, all of these big snakes have the jaws, even though some of the smaller snakes have the jaw capacity where it unhinges so they can eat their prey.
Mm-hmm.
Especially big prey like this. This snake's mouth right here, once it shows up for you, is unhinged so it can eat its prey in whole, and it's right now downing a white-tailed deer.
That's a white-tailed deer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's doing so whole.
Yep.
So if it's doing whole, and if anyone, I would recommend looking up how big a white-tailed deer is. So this kind of snake could easily do a human being or small child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else. So as you can see, I think Colin's mega snake is just a misidentified snake that already exists. It's more
that I can understand.
Easy to see that over the mermaids, yes, but again, with the mermaids, there's 80% of our oceans that we have yet to explore. There's underwater cave systems. I mean, the possibilities endless.
Well, then every couple of years there is an extinct species that's found to still have a small pockets left.
Yeah.
So my mind would probably be on it's a misidentified titan boa.
In regards to the mega snake, yes.
Yeah.
I do. So we're moving on to Scottish and Irish Kelpies.
Ooh, the Kelpies.
Yes.
Everyone hears Kelpie, they think, ooh, water horse.
Ooh, oh, no. Yeah. But we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Uh-huh.
So, general locations of the Kelpies: rivers, lochs, and other bodies of water with dangerous currents in deep pooling areas throughout Scotland and Ireland. Even though they primarily found around there, or stories tell them they're probably found anywhere. Honestly, it's just that area was the first areas to formally acknowledge their existence.
Or to name them such.
Yes. You got to be the first to say something in order to name it, right?
Unless you got enough money to squash everyone else out.
which is kind of bullshit. But excuse my language. I'm so sorry.
I was gonna say it wasn't me this time. Okay.
Yeah. Um, the description of the Kelpies. Believed to either look like a dark or sky blue in color, with slightly curly water ever dripping with wet, like they're dripping from their wet mane and tail. Uh, their
Mm-hmm.
preferred form is that of a horse, which, as you can see here, um, if their appearance as a lost and confused horse wandering about doesn't attract your attention, they will shift their forms into that of a beautiful, alluring woman. But usually they use the illusion to remain hidden. Um, their skin is like that of a seal, smooth yet cold as death.
And this is where a lot of different water water creatures fall kind of into the same mix because you have the kelpie, but you also have the sealy.
Yes. Uh,
Um,
which,
there's
if we
also the
ever go back and revisit water cryptids like we're doing now, we actually might be looking at the Sealy.
yeah, the sealy is actually quite fascinating, but
Yes.
we're on kelpies right now.
Yes, Kelpies.
But the other water cryptids that all come from kind of this area is also the water nymph.
Mm-hmm.
We also have tales of oh, I just had it. Uh, a water sprite.
Yeah. But this time
Uh,
we're talking about the Kelpies.
yeah, but the kelpie kind of stands alone because it has most of those only have one form, maybe two. The kelpie has three, and that's why the kelpie kind of stands out. Uh, because the horse form, the alluring lady form, but it also has its actual form. Which do you have the actual form description again?
It is believed to be a dark or sky blue color, slightly curly, ever dripping wet mane and tail. They prefer the form of a horse, or they remain
I've also heard it.
hidden.
Yeah, I've also heard it reflected that their mane isn't hair.
No.
Sometimes their mane is kelp itself.
Yep.
That's why you
Like
get the
this
name
one.
kelpie. Yeah,
That's why they named it that.
yeah. So that's what kind of gets me. It has two normal looking forms,
Yep.
but it also has its true form.
Correct.
And I most of these creatures you'll find the two forms, like the true form and then what it pretends to be.
And usually
But two different things it pretends to be. It's kind of cool.
yeah. Habits. Their habits.
Mm-hmm.
They like to keep when they're hiding, they like to keep their eyes just above the water to scout for prey. In horse form, Kelpies encourage those foolish enough to get close to them to climb up for a ride. Then it adheres its rider to their backs and runs into the water to drown them. Then proceeds to devour the victim, with the exception of the victim's heart, kidneys, and/or liver.
Okay, do you know what that sounds like?
What?
Um, what do it sounds like crocodiles and alligators at the water. They're only looking up with their eyes,
Yes.
and they drag people down into the water to kill them and devour them.
Which alligators and crocodiles do. If they are unfortunately have to do so on land, they do what is called a death roll, just to
Yeah,
rip off a
to do
chunk.
damage and to rip stuff. Yeah, rip stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
What if what if there was a long-limbed ancestor to the to I don't know the species for crocodilians and alligators. I don't know what that is, but what if there was a long-limbed version that preferred cold that in the past, you gotta remember the waters everywhere were warmer.
Yes.
And where this comes from, it's basically a lot of like just saltwater creatures. What if there was a saltwater reptile that if it was like covered if it was covered in kelp, looked kind of horseshit. No, I don't want to mess up this word.
Horse,
Horse-ish.
horse-ish. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, it could be the reason for what you're going for, which I could see, is maybe they came up through a bed of kelp, and basically as they're coming up, it ripped it up and just kind of coated their body. Like whenever you notice you're coming up, your hair's kind of in your face, and you have to flick it back whenever you come up out of the water.
Yeah. When we hear kelp, we think like the long, flat kelp. There is a hairy, that looks just like matted, wet hair
Mhm.
version of kelp as well too.
Yes.
So if you've got a visual in your mind, it looks just like the ring girl, but it's a type of kelp.
Yes. Nature, the kind of the what it's like their personalities type of thing, are considered malevolent and extremely dangerous. Though depictions of kelpies vary by region. They like to target children and foolish young women and men. They are considered to be one of the most dangerous and vengeful mythical creatures in Scotland and Irish folklore. Um, there is they are also used as a practical warning. Um, like how you better eat your greens or else the boogeyman's coming type of thing. Um, stories of
Don't
kelp
play in that lake, the kelpie will get you.
Yes, stories are of kelpies are used to warn and caution to young children and adults to stay away from dangerous waters and not to talk to strangers. Um,
Which are both good lessons to learn.
yes, and maybe it's because they know that those people can't swim, or maybe they don't know how to swim, or that the waters are that turbulent. Because some could be extremely calm on the top and look like it's just flowing nicely, but on the underside of it, there could be a fast, strong moving current, and you don't even see it.
That and the water is home to a lot of ambush predators.
Yes, like a snake.
One of which we just talked about. Yeah.
Yeah. The regional warning, the myth should also help explain accidental drownings.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
Because people would wash up covered in kelp.
Yep, exactly. Um, capturing a kelpie, which apparently it is possible but extremely dangerous. Kelpies can temporarily be controlled if you can be quick enough and successful enough to capture or get a hold of its bridle. But it's, however, highly risky. Because again, you touch it, you adhere to it. It's like there's some kind of instant
Sticky
chemical
mucus.
reaction. Yeah. So I got a few questions. Okay. What
Okay.
what do you think of the possibility of mermaids and sirens potentially existing?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. Unless they are a more advanced species that is just
Which is
keeping away
possible.
from us, I don't see them being a less evolved species. I don't see them being like chimpanzees or gorillas. I see them. They'd have to be more advanced, and then they'd be having to be wanting to have a cultural reason to not interact with us at all,
Well,
which
maybe,
is possible.
which is highly possible. It could be a instinct of survival, preservation.
Or it could be don't go up there. The humans live up there. If you get caught by a human, they're gonna drag you out of the water and dry you out.
Well, why not? I
What if
mean,
we're the cautionary tale?
oh, it could be they could see us throwing the carcasses of like whales or sharks back in after they've had their fins severed for soup.
Yeah, you want a story of what hell looks like? Look what was happening on the old whaling ships back in the day.
That's horrifying and horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Do you think the Collins guy just misidentified another already known snake species, or did he discover something new?
I don't think it was something new. I think it was something that may have been lost to time, but not necessarily new.
Okay. And have you seen a Kelpie before, or do you believe they even exist?
I do not believe the Kelpies exist.
I do.
Uh, Simply because I think the Kelpie, as we know it, the legend that has three separate forms, I don't believe exists.
Well, think about it. If they target somebody, they only will be targeting the person that they choose. We might not be able to see it because they're focused on somebody else.
What I do think is it might be a conglomerate of other creatures that get lumped together inaccurately.
There could be, but I still think there's a possibility of the Kelpie. We did see an incident of it happening. You remember the episode of Sam and Colby?
I still think that was a water nymph, not a Kelpie.
Still, there's a possibility of that
Yeah. As
because
for actual Kelpies, I
it was alluring. Remember, they can take different forms. The Kelpies can take different forms, and I think you're forgetting that.
no, I'm thinking what's misidentified as Kelpies might be spirits.
Which could be. Um, but yeah, Sam was being lured into a river next to a castle, and Corey at the time had to stop him. It was either Corey or Sam that had to stop him from going further in. He was going in, shoes all closed, but he looked like he was in a trance.
Hmm.
Um,
But I think it's a wider spectrum of creature than just Kelpie. I'll put it that way.
yeah. Oopsies. Um, I have to fix that, but that's for another time.
I mean, I also don't believe in nightmares either.
I think nightmares are the possibility could they could be potentially exist. Again, all these different creatures are based on something, a grain of truth.
Hmm.
Monsters, even in the DMG, which for those of you who don't know what a DMG is, it's Dungeon Master Guide for Dungeons and Dragons. Um, could potentially exist or have, you know, like a different version of it that got twisted, which is altogether possible. Um, it just we have yet to see it ourselves. So because we haven't seen it, we can't say yes or no. But and sorry for the doggo. I think the pizza's here. But with that being said, um, again, the possibility is endless. There is a potential for anything and everything. And a lot of us, when we don't know what's going on, tend to fear it and turn a blind eye, saying, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
That is very true. Humans have a vast capacity to close their eyes and cover their ears.
Yes. And or shoot now and ask questions later, which is unfortunate. We may delve into water cryptids again at a later date, but right
There's a
now,
lot of them.
yeah, just like land-based cryptids or what have you, or air-based, there is a lot. We may delve into it, but at a much later date, maybe in a different season. Um, with that being said, we will call it there, folks. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. Please let us know what you think in the comments below, and while you're on YouTube, and hit the like button if you like it, dislike if you dislike. Your interactions, let us know what you like and don't like. And if you like us to take a deep dive into or deep look into a different cryptid, let us know again in the comments because we'd like to know. We're open for discussion. We encourage you guys to come out and talk.
And
Right?
even if it's a cryptid we've already gone over, we'll gladly revisit it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you have anything you'd like to say, David?
Um, we're coming up to spooky season.
Yeah.
Please, everyone, remember to keep Christmas at Christmas season. Let us enjoy. Let us who love our spooky season enjoy our spooky season
Why can't spooky season be all year round?
because we have to honor Christmas season too.
Oh, I guess. I do like Christmas too, though. But please take care. Be safe out there. Um, Feel free to ask us questions. I'll put in the description below a link to our Discord if you'd like to participate in that, to our Facebook group. The email, if you would just like to just email and talk to us, that's perfectly fine too. Outside of that, my name is Jennifer, and this is my lovely husband and co-host David Wills. We will see you next time on the next episode of Deep Look into the Paranormal podcast, which I believe is, wait a second, which is in 2 weeks. And
It'll be the 5th.
Yes, it's at the 5th. But I'm trying to find out what's going on. Give me 1 second. It will be on the hauntings of Auschwitz.
Oh right. I forgot. I thought we'd already done that one. Oh.
No, it's going to be a hard one for everyone, and we will try and be as respectful as possible to the events. We will try not to linger on too many things because it will be an emotional one.
Yeah.
But it is something that is known. The place is known for being haunted and for good reason. It's not a good reason in the sense.
Not a good reason, but it's a sound reason.
Or valid, I should say.
Yeah.
But that's for next time. Till then, take care, everyone, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.